Hello YouTube and welcome back to another video. This is Champion 2D Rob back again, and this is going to be my Mega Drive collection blue box set. So yeah, I've got some good games here to show you guys, and yeah, I think we're just going to go right into it. Won't leave you in suspense for too long. First couple of games here, and these are my most recent additions. I only picked them up a little while ago, and that is Flink. Really fun 2D platform game. This was basically one of the titles that I wanted for the collection when I started picking up games initially, and I only just got around to it recently, but I'm really happy to finally have this one in the collection. But as you would imagine, I haven't spent too much time with it. And the next game I have here is Salil. Again, this is a title I just picked up not too long ago. Really fun top-down sort of Legend of Zelda type of game, like a real-time top-down action title RPG. I've played a bit of it. It's actually a lot of fun. I do enjoy this game. So yeah, really two really cool additions to the collection. Let's see here. Okay, I happen to have two copies of Dynamite Heady. I know I picked up one in a bundle, and the other one's just one my original copy. But yeah, Dynamite Heady, really good 2D platform game from Treasure. I'm a big fan of Treasure. I've always enjoyed their style of games. They just have a very unique look to them, and yeah, very cool. So I've got two copies of that. Next couple of games I've got here is I've got Disney's Toy Story. Again, this is a game I picked up. Well, I've had it in my collection for a little while now, but I've actually never played it. I'll be honest with you, I never put it on. Not too long ago, I watched a gameplay vid from Rob Gernaldino. He did a playthrough of this, and it actually looked really good. So I will probably go and play this game at some point soon. Next game I have here is Mega Bomberman. Really fun game this. This is probably the only Bomberman game I actually put any real time into. A lot of fun this one. I did enjoy this one quite a bit. Very cool game, yeah. Do enjoy it. Okay, next couple of games here. Okay, I've got Power Rangers the movie. Do you know what? This is actually a really fun side-scrolling beat-em-up. Way better than it had any right to be. I mean, the only thing I think lets this game down is that the enemies are very repetitive. But it is a fun title, and I do play this one from time to time. It is a good game. Yeah, that's all really much I can say about it. Just a really cool side-scrolling beat-em-up. And the next game I have here is Ristar, or Ristar, however you want to pronounce it. Really good platform game. I never played this as a kid, and I'll be honest with you, I've only really started playing this now, and I've had this game in my collection for years. I never really I guess I kind of struggled with the controls at first, and then I just sort of put the game down and moved on to other things. But I was actually playing it about a few days ago, and I actually found myself really getting into it. It's a really good platformer title, and I believe this was made by the original Sonic team. And yeah, it's fantastic. I can see why this game is starting to climb in price now, because it was sort of overlooked at the time. But it's a really good platforming title. Okay, next game I have here is, well, I have two of them, and that is Saturday Night Slam Masters. I have two titles. Essentially, this was my original copy, and it didn't have a manual, so I got this game very cheap, like a long time ago. I was very lucky. I won in an auction, and I got it for very cheap. But it always bugged me I didn't have a manual for it, so this was basically my placeholder until I found a complete copy, and I just never got around to selling it on. I will do at some point. So yeah, obviously I got a complete copy now in very nice condition, and it's a fantastic game. If you don't know what Saturday Night Slam Masters It's a wrestling title, but it's not. I mean, it's a wrestling game, but they it's an arcade action beat 'em up kind of game. It kind of plays more like a side-scrolling beat 'em up. Only you're limited to a ring as opposed to scrolling along. But really, really cool, and you can also play as Mike Hagar from Final Fight. Next game I've got here is Desert Demolition, starring Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote. I just took a punt on this game, really. I've always been a fan of Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote. I never played this game. I wasn't even aware of this game until I started collecting, and I just sort of took a chance on it. But I don't know, it's okay. I don't really have many memories of it. I don't think I've played it much, to be honest. It's just sort of like a platform game where you play as Wile E. Coyote. Yeah, I don't know. I need to go back to it. I don't really remember much. The next game I have here is Sonic 3D Flickies Island, and I'll be honest with you, I can't get on with this game. The isometric view, the controls, I find it difficult to be precise. Yeah, I just struggle with this game. I don't enjoy it that much. And of course, we've got here Sonic 3. Yeah, really, really cool game, but it does need Sonic and Knuckles to make it complete. Really, really great games. I don't think I ever played... No, I did play Sonic and Knuckles as a kid, but I don't think I ever played Sonic 3 with both of them together. But in any case, if you love Sonic, then you need both of them in your collection for sure. Alright, moving on. I've got here Pitfall, The Mayan Adventure. Really, really fun game this. Really cool action side-scroller in that kind of Indiana Jones style. Yeah, I enjoy this game. This is alright. It's a decent little game. I remember they marketed the hell out of this game back in the day, but I never got to play it up until in recent years. But yeah, it's a good game. Next one I have here is Jurassic Park Rampage Edition. Again, this is a game I never played as a kid, but it's actually pretty good. I do enjoy this title. Yeah, it's a lot decent than I was expecting it to be. I was always put off by a lot of these movie licensed games, but I think I underestimated this one. This one is actually a lot of fun. Next one I have here is Comic Zone. Again, this is one of those titles I don't think I ever played as a kid, but really good game though, but extraordinarily hard. I don't think I need to talk about this game much. I know a lot of people are familiar with Comic Zone. It's been re-released so many times, but it's a fun beat 'em up style of game with a very, very beautiful looking art style to it. Very cool game. And then I've got Virtual Racing. I never got to play this game as a kid. Back in the day, I had a 32X, so I did own Virtual Racing Deluxe. That was my introduction to virtual racing. That and the arcade game. Never played the Megadrive game. I thought it was going to be absolute shite. But when I played this as an adult, when I bought it as a collector, I was surprised by how good this game plays. I mean, I never, to be honest with you, I never paid much attention to the added chip components they put in the cartridge. I never paid any attention to any of that. But yeah, this game is really smooth on the Mega Drive. I was pleasantly surprised by it, and it is a fun racer. But to be honest with you, like a lot of racers on the 16-bit platforms, I just don't really go back to them nowadays. I prefer to play sort of 32-bit and onwards. Those ones hold up better for me rather than the 16-bit ones. But this is a very cool title. Next couple of games I've got here is Second Samurai. Some of you might be familiar with me talking about this game. I do think it's a bit of a hidden gem. Very cool action side scroller with 2-player co-op. It's nothing like the first game. This one is much better in my opinion. Very cool action side scroller, hack and slash type of game. Definitely check it out, guys. And then I've got here Donald in Maui Mallard. A very cool platformer title. Not one that I ever played as a kid, but I do enjoy this game. It can be quite tricky in places, can be quite hard in places, but it's a very fun and beautiful looking game, as you would expect from a lot of Disney games. Graphically, it's really nice. Okay, next game I've got here is Disney's Pinocchio, and yeah, it's just a really fun platformer title. Not much to it, but it's a fun, colourful, beautiful looking game as you'd expect from Disney. And then I've got here The Adventures of Batman and Robin, a potentially fantastic game, but it is rock hard, and to this day I can't even get past the first level. It's really difficult, but it's essentially a run and gun title with 2-player co-op. It's got some beautiful levels, and if I could ever get off the first level, I'd like to experience these levels for myself, because it looks fantastic. They did a lot of amazing effects work with this game. Yeah, it's a beautiful looking game, but it's just too damn hard for its own good. Let's see, next games I've got here is Earthworm Jim and Earthworm Jim 2. Yeah, both fun titles. I was never that good at them, to be honest with you, but I did really enjoy the Earthworm Jim character. And actually, back in the day, I used to watch the Earthworm Jim cartoon. I actually have the DVD set. Do enjoy the cartoon. I love the humour of these games. The character of Earthworm Jim is great. But yeah, I never got too far in either of these games, to be honest. I know a lot of people lately have been hating on the sequel. They say it's not very good. But I mean, I like them both. Really cool games. Just very, very tricky for me. Alright, moving on. I've got here Phantom 2040. A game I never played as a kid. I do remember the cartoon that this was based on. I remember seeing the cartoon back in the day. Never got into it though, because the cartoon was made by the same people that made the Aeon Flux cartoon, and it had that really kind of like awkward design, like character designs, where I kind of felt they made the women like really ugly and skinny and stuff. Didn't like it. Made them look like crackheads. It wasn't my cup of tea. But this game was actually really good. I was very pleasantly surprised by this title. Very cool action run and gun type of game, platformer type of game. Yeah, I think if I'd had this game as a kid, I definitely would have loved it. Next title I have here is Venom Spider-Man Separation Anxiety. And this is one of the games I had as a kid. I bought this game essentially as a reaction to the fact that I never managed to get hold of Maximum Carnage. And because it was basically the same sort of game, it was a side-scrolling beat-em-up. But in this case, they added 2-player co-op, so you and a friend could play as Spider-Man and Venom respectively. Although it seems that for whatever reason, they decided to make the graphics not as good as the first game. I guess in order to implement a 2-player mode, which just goes to show you, when developers don't have that talent or just don't have the means to get the most out of the Megadrive, this is kind of the result. I remember enjoying this game as a kid, but it was ridiculously hard. And I remember me and my friend having to resort to cheat codes in order to progress through this game, because it was obscenely hard at points and very unfair at points. It's not a great beat 'em up, if I'm honest with you. It isn't, but I've got a lot of nostalgia for it. But this is probably one that a lot of people could avoid. If you're not going for full sets, you don't need this game. Okay, next game I have here is Megatrican. Again, not a title that I played as a kid, but it's really good. Very, very good run and gun game. Yeah, it's not much more I can say about it really. It's just a really fun run and gun title, and I think one of those games that just sadly was overlooked on the Megadrive. I know the Turrican series is quite a well-known and popular series, but on the Megadrive, I think I found most people overlooked it. But it's actually a really good version of the series. And then I've got here Mickey Mania. Never played it as a kid. but it's a fun game. It's a really fun title. Great graphics. I suppose probably the best version of this game would probably be on either the Mega CD or the PlayStation, because it has the CD quality music. But generally, I know this is considered the better port compared to the Super Nintendo version. But it's a fun, colourful platform game either way. Still ridiculously hard though. Okay, next couple of games I've got here is X-Men 2 Clone Wars. Again, I remember wanting this game as a kid, never got around to it. When I finally got this as an adult, as a collector, I loved it. Fantastic, man. I wish I had this game as a kid, because as much as I enjoyed the original X-Men game, this one is far superior, and I would have enjoyed this a lot more back then, because I was really into X-Men back in the 90s. I was so into them. So I wish I had this game, but anyway, the past is the past. But yeah, great game. I do enjoy this one. And next game I have here is Alien Soldier. This was one of the first games I picked up for the Megadrive when I sort of got back into collecting for it, and it's a fun title from Treasure. I wish I could say I've gotten very far in it, because I haven't. This game is rock hard. I mean, in essence, it's a 2D run and gun title, but it's really just like a boss rush game where you're just facing off against all these bosses with like some really short levels in between. But yeah, it's definitely a cool title, but just one that's it's really hard. But I'm happy to have it in the collection though, because I'm a fan of Treasure, and this is definitely one of their gems. Okay, next up I have here is the double pack of Quackshot and Mickey Mouse, Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse. I bet you guys thought I didn't have these games when you saw me going through my black box set. I bet some of you said he doesn't have Quackshot, he doesn't have Castle of Illusion. Well, here it is, guys. I went for the double pack, and yeah, great titles, both of them. I remember playing Quackshot back in the day. I never owned Quackshot, but I did play it back in the day as a kid. And I also played Castle of Illusion as well, although ironically I was more familiar with the Master System version of Castle of Illusion. That is probably the one that I played the most back in the day. But yeah, really good platform games. Next one I have here is the Classics Collection. So this has Gunstar Heroes, Altered Beast, Flicky and Alex Kidd. And again, I bet some of you guys were going from my black box set and saying, how come he doesn't have Gunstar Heroes? Well, this is the reason, because I have it here. Altered Beast, I do not like it as a game, not a fan. Flicky is a mild diversion, and Alex Kidd, I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan of the Alex Kidd series like whatsoever. I don't like them. But yeah, I got this primarily for Gunstar Heroes, because I bought this game for like really cheap way back. And yeah, Gunstar Heroes is a classic game, love it. And the rest of the games are fine. Like I aside from Gunstar Heroes, funnily enough, the game that gets the most play is actually Flicky. I know some people hate on Flicky, but I don't know, I just quite enjoy it. But Altered Beast, I have played it quite a few times, but I don't think it's a game that holds up. And Alex Kidd can fucking die in a fire in my book. You know, I'm not a fan, not a fan. Next game I have here is McDonald's Treasureland Adventure, and this is a title that I kind of dismissed back in the day as a kid. Didn't think much of it, like I'd imagine most people would. But it's a really, really fun title from Treasure. Again, it has very much that unique Treasure style. Just, you know, it uses the McDonald's IP. But it is a very good platform game, and I do recommend people check it out. So yeah, don't sleep on this game because of the IP. Give it a go. It's a really fun game. Okay, so now we are on to the last 4 titles in my collection, and I have here Probotector. I've got it in a protective case because yeah, I value this game a lot. But this is my original copy from when I was a kid. Back in the day on the Super Nintendo, I was a huge fan of Contra 3, also known as Super Probotector. So when they announced the Mega Drive version, I bought this like first week of release. Had to have it. I followed this game in the magazines. I remember reading up about this game on Meme Machines, and yeah, from when it came out, I managed to get the money and pick this up, and I was very happy to get so. I love this game. It is ridiculous. It is a hard game. It is a hard game, but I'm actually very good at it. I played this game to death as a kid. I'm not as good now, but as a kid, I was very, very good at this game. Next one we have here is Streets of Rage 3. Yeah, never played this as a kid. Only got this as an adult when I started collecting. As most people are aware of, this game is much harder than it ought to be. The Japanese version is way fairer and a much better version of the title. But still, you know, it's fun to have, and it is a good game. I think for me the music is not as memorable, but the controls are great. It still plays like Streets of Rage, but you know, I just don't have the same nostalgic appeal for this game as I do with the other ones. But it's still a very good game. And here we are, guys, now to my final two blue box games. So the one I've got here is Mega Man and the Wily Wars, and essentially what this is a compilation of the first three NES Mega Man games done in a 16-bit style, and it also has an exclusive section called the Wily Towers. So that's probably the main draw of this compilation, is the fact that it has a Mega Drive exclusive content. I'll be honest with you, I've not really put much time into this. Whenever I play Mega Man, it's not on this. I guess it's more of a collector's piece. But I bought this years ago. Like, this game has shot up in price, like way in price since I bought mine. I mean, I don't get me wrong, I paid a lot for my copy, but like for what it goes for now, it's practically doubled in price. And finally, I've got here The Punisher. This was again one of the first games I bought when I sort of went back into collecting for the Mega Drive. Essentially, this and Alien Soldier were sort of my two must-own games when I opted to start picking up as a collector. So I actually got both for, well, they were expensive at the time, I thought, but they've since go for way more. But yeah, really chuffed to have this one in the collection, and I actually think it's a really good game. It's not a patch on the arcade original. The arcade game is far superior, but as a cut down version of the game, it still plays really well, and I do enjoy it. I've completed it multiple times. It still works for me. I do think they could have done a better job with this game, but ultimately it's still a very fun game. But like I say, if you've got a choice between this and the arcade version, go for the arcade version every time. But it's still a really fun game. So that's it, guys. That is the end of my blue box set of games. So the next video is basically going to be all my miscellaneous titles, basically my Japanese Mega Drive, as well as my Genesis titles as well. So they're going to be all in one video. So thank you very much for watching this video, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the games. And yeah, I will see you next time. Bye-bye.